Hey, you. Yeah, you. Come here. You want to learn how to divide rational expressions? What is up, mathletes? So today, what we're going to be looking at is how to divide rational expressions. All right. And so I want to look at this problem right here because I've been getting emails about this problem and it's messing with people. All right. So before we dive in, right, like I've talked in my other videos, we have to make sure we understand what is it that we're being asked to do. So here we need to divide these rational expressions. So let's give you a little rule, right? A little rule or definition that's going to help us with this. So a little reminder, let's say you have two fractions, just like you do here. So we'll call the first fraction a over b, and the second fraction we'll call c over d. Well, just a reminder before we jump in case you have forgotten, the first fraction, right, when we were to simplify this, when we actually do this division, that first fraction, we leave it alone, right? Don't touch it. So we drop it like it's hot, bam. But this division, let me use a different color, is going to turn into a multiplication, right? And what we do is we ended up multiplying by the reciprocal, d over c. So there's our rule, and if you want to know why, just drop me a comment and I'll be glad to make a video of why this is true. But right now I think most people, they just tell me what to do. So that's the rule we're going to be using. All right, so let's go ahead and let's use this rule right here and let's apply it to this division. All right, so before we do that, I'll give you a second to go ahead and make sure you like and subscribe so we could continue making this content for you guys. So here we go. So that first fraction, we said nothing happens to it, so we leave it alone. All right, and I'm starting to see some things, but I won't let the cat out of the bag just yet. And then that second fraction, we're gonna flip it, right? We're gonna take the reciprocal, right? The reciprocal, we're gonna flip it. All right, so whoosh, flip it good.
Hey, take it easy.
All right, so we went ahead and we flipped that second fraction. All right, now it becomes a straight up multiplication. What I don't want you to do is to actually go ahead and multiply everything, right? That would be crazy. So what we want to do is we want to factor everything possible. And when you're factoring, right, you always look to see if there's a GCF. So in this case, there's a GCF right here. Here I have 1, 2, 3 terms. So this is a trinomial. So I might use the trial and error method or the AC method. And if you want to get better at that, then go ahead and check out the links that I provided to you. So I have videos for you of how to factor trinomials, GCFs, and this one right here is a difference of cubes. And I'll link that video for you too if you want more practice. And what I highly recommend is don't move on from this section until you've mastered factoring, all right? And I could help you do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to try to factor. And notice what I said, we're going to try to factor because some of these might actually be prime. All right, so we'll look at that. So for our first factor, notice I could factor out a y. So let's go ahead and let's factor out a y. And we're left with 3 minus y. All right. For the bottom, right, this denominator here, we have the difference because it's a subtraction. So we have a difference of cubes. So let me rewrite it for you as something cubed minus something cubed. And so this is going to act as our a, if I'm using the formula a cubed minus b cubed, and this is going to act as our b. So when I use the difference of cubes formula, right, another rule, let me go ahead and write this rule over here for you. So difference of cubes, when you have something cubed minus something cubed. The way to factor that is it's a minus b, and then a squared plus ab plus b squared. So that's our difference of cubes formula. And again, I have a video for more practice down in the description. All right. And then since we're on it, let's go ahead and factor this. So let me factor it and I'll write it right underneath. So this, let me factor it, and we end up with y minus 3, right? That's our a minus b, and then a squared, which is going to be y squared, plus 3y, right, a and b, plus 3 squared, which is 9. So let's go ahead and write all these pieces. Again, if you want me to break that down, check out that video. It'll be very helpful for you. 3y and then plus 9. So that's how we factor that. And what I want you to notice is time out, wait a minute, right? Look at that factor. Y squared plus 3y plus 9. That's the same thing that we have up here, right? So these I see are gonna factor. So it's gonna save me time. I don't even need to factor this. Number one, I can't, because that's prime. You'll see if you try it. And number two, right, if it cancels, don't do that extra unnecessary work. So we have y squared plus 3y plus 9, and it's still over y. So now we ask ourselves, right? So we factored, and now we ask ourselves what cancels. So let's go ahead, let me get my highlighter out, and let's see what cancels. And when you're canceling these factors, these mother factors, as long as you have something in the numerator and something in the denominator, right, and it's multiplication, we could cancel. The order doesn't matter, right? So this y will cancel with this y, perfect. This y squared plus 3y plus 9 will cancel with this y squared plus 3y plus 9. Excellent. And here, what we're left with is 3 minus y and y minus 3. So let's go ahead, let's do a little bit of rewriting. So let me go ahead and give myself some more space. Let me group this and shrink it for America. All right, and let me write down what we have left. So we have a 3 minus y all over a y minus 3. So what I'll do is I'll write this in descending order. And what I'm going to do is I want my y to be positive, so I'm going to factor out. I'm going to change the order, and I'm also going to factor out the negative sign because I want the leading coefficient to be positive. Maybe some good might happen. So let's check it out. So I'm going to factor out the negative 1, right? And remember, when we factor out the negative 1, what's happening is you're changing the signs, right? You're changing these signs. So that y is going to now become positive, and this 3 is now going to become negative. So let's go ahead and do that. Show them what they won, Johnny. So this is what we end up with, right? I just changed the signs. And we divide that by y minus 3. And what do you notice? Right? These cancel out. And that whole mess, right? That entire mess that we started with was the same thing as writing negative 1, right? So hopefully this video helped out. Make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe, check out the videos below, and I'll see you in the next problem. Peace.